We have our biggest move of the offseason. Dylan Cease to the Blue Jays, 7 years, $210 million. The Blue Jays go out and get their horse. Cease locks up the long-term deal, and now the hot stove is really buzzing as we count down to the end of the month and the winter meetings just a few weeks away. The first major domino has fallen, and the defending AL East champs bolster their rotation as we welcome you to MLB Network. I'm Greg Caserta, joined once again by our friend and insider Mark Feinsand. So this one just came out of nowhere, and here we are. Dylan Cease is a Blue Jay. Can we talk about how this all came together so quickly?
Well, it's surprising that it came together so quickly for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't usually see deals of this magnitude pre-Thanksgiving, if not even pre-winter meetings. Secondly, we rarely ever see a Scott Boras client signed this early, so that's also a surprise. But I'm not surprised at all that the Blue Jays got aggressive and went out. They knew they wanted to get one of the big starting pitchers on the market. Clearly, they had tabbed Cease as their number one choice of those big 4 or 5 pitchers. And when you look at the fact that they were losing Chris Bassett and Max Scherzer out of the rotation, Kevin Gausman only has 1 more year of control left on his contract, and Shane Bieber only has 1 year of control after picking up that option. So, right now, this rotation looks great. Obviously, Trey Savage came up and was a huge factor in October. But a year from now, Gausman and Bieber are going to be free agents. So securing Cease on this long-term deal gives Toronto that big arm at the top of the rotation for the next 7 seasons. So next year, there's not going to be quite as big a need to go out and refill 3 spots in that rotation.
Mark, were any other teams in on Cease to the point where talks had progressed like this?
Not that I know of, but again, this came about so quickly. We're still in typically around the league right now. You're still in that, kicking tires phase of free agency where, teams and agents start talking at the GM meetings a little bit and start talking a little bit more. But these big deals don't tend to happen this fast. 2 weeks from now in Orlando is when we figured some of these would really start coming down. So I don't know that anybody, got to the point where they were talking serious terms with Dylan Cease. But again, the Blue Jays identified him as their top pitching priority, and they were aggressive and they went and got him. I mean, $30 million a year, that's a serious deal.
Blue Jays building a stable of horses. This graphic right here shows it. Pitchers with 30 or more starts each of the last 5 years. They now have 3 of them, with Cease heading that list. Barrios and Gausman as well. Patrick Corbin, the veteran part of that. But man, oh man, good for the Blue Jays. And what I love about this, Mark, is that it changes perceptions, right? Like, people thought the Blue Jays would never go out and land a big fish. They lost out on Ohtani. Last year, their big move was bringing in Anthony Santander. Suddenly, in 1 calendar year, you've given $500 million to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and now $210 to the right-hander.
Well, it's interesting. I think the Vlad part of it can't be understated because people have been looking at the Blue Jays for the last couple of years saying, are they going to trade Vlad? Are they going to re-sign him? Is he going to leave as a free agent? And there was sort of a little bit of uncertainty about whether the Blue Jays were going to be a legitimate contender in the coming years or whether they were looking at the end of this window with Vlad and Bichette. So giving Vlad that $500 million was a signal to the rest of the league that they're not going anywhere. They're planning on being a contender. They've got their franchise player, and now they're going to continue to build around him. To me, the most interesting part of this signing is what happens next. We know Bo Bichette is somebody they want to bring back. We've also heard Kyle Tucker's name attached to the Blue Jays, for the past few weeks. So having given Dylan Cease $210 million, can they go out and sign Bichette and Tucker? Is it one or the other? Which one do they prioritize at this point? So the Blue Jays offseason is fascinating, and it's really just getting started, even with this huge signing.